before we head off today, probably the biggest athlete in combat sports, nestled right behind Gaff. The notorious Conor McGregor is back in action Saturday after, I want to call it a layoff. He wanted to fight 3 times in 2020, but this little thing called COVID-19 hit and put everything on hold. So he is back fighting Dustin Poirier Saturday, 10 Eastern, on pay-per-view. Johnny, Gav, what are we thinking? We've waited a long time. A year is a long time. We were all excited for the season. McGregor sings the season. I'm going to fight 3-4 times. We're like, yeah, we're getting all pumped. And then the pandemic hit. But he said during this whole pandemic, he's been training and in the best shape of his life. Do we believe him? And do we think Conor McGregor gets the job done Saturday evening or probably into Sunday morning?
I definitely believe him when he says that. I mean, he says that a lot. Last time he said it was, he says it in every camp because that's who he is. But like to quote Conor McGregor, he backs it up.
Yeah.
And I have proof. Okay, yeah, he said that before the Diaz fight and he lost that one. He said that before the Khabib fight and he lost that one. But we know those are kind of exceptions. He said that before the Cerrone fight, and he was doing things no one's ever seen before. He broke his nose with his shoulder and then finished him off with a kick. So if that's not the best shape, then I don't know what is. So he says that here. He says he's going to knock him out in a minute. I'm looking forward to seeing that, Tommy.
Johnny, what do you think? Do you think he's going to put on a display of greatness on Saturday, or is he all talk? The answer is all talk, no action. He's accomplished a lot. He's a 2-division champion. But come Saturday, do you think maybe he's getting too overconfident?
Well, I don't think Conor McGregor knows what the word overconfident means.
Yeah.
He goes up there. That's what he is. He's a marketer. He goes up there, he makes a big deal about the fight, and like Evan said, he backs up every year. I think he's going to put on a display for sure. I don't know if it's going to be a good display or a bad display. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight, and I like his chances.
Well, Johnny said something very interesting there and very important. That the thing that separates Conor McGregor from, because like Conor McGregor is a great fighter, but he's not the UFC's. The UFC has seen some pretty awesome fighters such as Khabib, but the thing that just separates Conor from anyone else is the way he markets himself. I mean, he's a lovable, hateable villain/hero that people want to see knock people out every Saturday. And so we'd like to see, okay, he's in the best shape of his life. We can look at him, but we also have to look at his opponent, right, Tommy?
Mm-hmm. Well, Dustin Poirier, this is the way they're advertising. Poirier, McGregor 2. And the reason they put a 2 at the end is because they fought previously, like 6 years ago, and McGregor knocked him out inside 2 minutes. But there's a lot of things have changed. And so people are like, well, why am I going to buy a fight that Conor already starched a guy? Like, why would I drop $70 on this? Well, Poirier's first of all, that fight was at 145 pounds. So both guys were drained. I think Conor's a bit shorter, maybe an inch shorter than him. So he's a bit of a smaller guy, but it's easier for him to make 145 than it was for Poirier. Poirier at 155 pounds has been amazing. He was the interim UFC lightweight champion, ultimately lost to Khabib, but everyone's lost to Khabib. But you look who he's done. He's beat Gaethje. He's beaten Holloway twice. He's beat Eddie Alvarez twice. So he's beat the cream of the crop of the sport, except for 2 guys, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor. He's going to try again against Conor. I think this is going to be I don't know how long it's going to last. I feel like Conor can easily catch him with a shot right off the bat, because what Poirier loves to do is stand and strike, and against Conor McGregor, that's not a great idea. But that's what he does well too. So it's going to be a race to see who lands that first clean shot first. I ultimately think Conor is going to land that. Just the way he looks, you can just check his you're right. He's a salesman, Johnny. He sells the fight constantly. So even if he's in the worst shape of his life, he's saying, I'm in the best shape of my life and all that stuff. And he might lay an egg. He might. But then afterwards, the Khabib fight said, I didn't really train. And you can see, because you can back it up. You see him drinking Proper 12 at the press conference. He was not in good physical condition. And then you see him against Cowboy, he looked like a bodybuilder. So you can tell. And he looks even better shape than he looked in the Cowboy fight. And I'm expecting fireworks. I think people aren't giving Poirier enough credit of how good he's been since that fight. But I ultimately think Conor McGregor's going to get the job done, and that hopefully lines us. Hopefully Khabib's impressed, guys, so we can get Khabib Conor too, because that's the fight everyone wants.
Yeah, Tom, that's it. I mean, we saw them in 2014. That was a knockout. Conor definitely dominated. So, like you said, it's easy kind of to brush this one off and say, all right, call me when he fights Khabib. But both of these guys have grown to be the best in the sport. I mean, Poirier is without a doubt one of the best fighters around.
No question.
And so is Conor McGregor. We're going to find out who's better. My odds are Conor McGregor. Is it going to be the 60-second knockout everyone's looking for?
Could be.
Could be, because I was doubtful of him knocking Cerrone out, and he did it in,
40 seconds.
30 seconds. So, but
40.
But I hope Conor, and I'm sure he is, he's giving Poirier the respect. And I'm sure Poirier is going to come at him at all angles. He knows Conor. Will he be able to stand up and trade punches with him? I don't know. I wouldn't place my money on that. Just knowing how lethal Conor McGregor is on his feet. But so I know Poirier's going to come at him, attack him at different angles, and he's got a lot to prove coming out off of, it's his second time fighting him off of a loss, and he's coming off that loss versus Khabib. Mm-hmm. So a year ago, I think. So yeah, he's definitely going to have a fire lit under his as you mentioned earlier in the podcast.
Johnny, what do you think? If Conor gets by this, is the Khabib rematch inevitable? Is it just too big of a fight even for Khabib to pass on?
I think for sure. I think if Conor wins this fight, I think we'll be seeing Khabib versus McGregor very strongly. Because
he said he was retired. But like Dana's like, no. Dana said what? Probably had no idea he was retiring after his last fight. So then he went in the panic mode. He's like, no, this can't be happening. We have to get this fight done. He's praying. But this fight sort of just happened between Poirier and McGregor. I think Dana wanted one more fight, and that was going to be McGregor-Khabib for Khabib and send him off, But then this McGregor and Poirier started talking on Twitter, like, let's have a proper scrap. And then they're like, yeah, we want to fight. And the UFC's like, all right, well, I guess this is the fight then, because they're both in the top 4 in the rankings. Let's do it. Let's give Khabib another reason why he should fight Conor. Because Khabib beat Poirier in the 3rd round, I believe, submitted him. Let's say Conor goes out there and knocks him out in 60 seconds. People are going to be like, see, this is the real Conor. You fought to have to ask McGregor. So, Johnny, do you think Khabib, I know he said he's a man of principle, money doesn't mean anything to him. You know how much he's going to get paid for this.
Yeah, like it's easy to say it. But when they give you that check and you see all those zeros, it's hard to say no, And
how much can he get paid? Like,
I think it's going to be a lot, man. Just the potential pay-per-view alone for that fight is going to be.
If he comes back, I think we're going to be seeing some boxing figures for this one. This is going to be an astronomical number that the UFC's never seen before. And for those that don't know, Dana White had a big announcement for all UFC fans this weekend. He was really hyping it up. 3:00 ABC Saturday on the Holloway card. And then he comes out, and I'm expecting him to say, Khabib versus so-and-so, Khabib versus the winner of Conor Poirier, August 30. No, he didn't say any of that. He says Khabib's going to be watching the card. And if he's impressed, not only by the main event, but if he's even impressed by the co-main, which is Hooker Chandler, which I don't even think Khabib knows who those guys are. He says, well, Khabib's going to be watching, and if he's interested by anything, we're going to go into talks. So basically he
essentially said nothing.
He said nothing. Khabib was going to be watching UFC that weekend, and I could say, oh, Tommy's going to be watching.
But he didn't even say, if the winner of that, Khabib wants him, right? He didn't even say it. He said, well, if Khabib is impressed.
Exactly.
If he's impressed, then we can talk. Not even say we'll get the fight done. We'll talk.
Yeah, that's just to avoid any speculation, to avoid any talks, any rumors, to keep people from getting any weird ideas and false information. They're just going to talk. And I think, whoever wins, they're going to be talking. And I think if Conor starches him in shocking fashion, which we all hope to see, I think it's going to be pretty hard for Khabib to turn that down. Because if he turns it, I know, like you said, man of principle, whatever, but if he turns it down and doesn't go, and here's Conor barking from the mountaintops, I want Habib, then, there's going to be talk saying, oh, well, I mean, you didn't, like you said, he didn't fight Conor at his best, and now he's turning down a fight with Conor at his best when he just starched one of the world's best in 4 minutes, in 60 seconds. Yeah. So, there's going to be a lot of talks, and a lot of people are going to want to see that, Tommy.
Absolutely.
It's more than just the cash, it's the reputation.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's the reputation. I know you want to quit on top, which he did, and I totally respect that, but there's always more. There's always another mountain you can climb.
For sure.
I'm just going to say it like it is, Gav. Comes down to dollars and cents.
Comes down to dollars and
all
cents.
What it comes down to. And Khabib McGregor 2 will be the biggest fight since McGregor Mayweather. And maybe, I don't know if it's going to be that big because that was a crossover, but it's going to be over 3 million pay-per-view buys.
Easily.
So, just quickly, who do you think you're going to win? I got McGregor, Johnny.
McGregor.
Gav.
I'm going to top that up. McGregor, I don't know if it's a first round, definitely second round, but we'll see.